Hello YouTube, this is Undead93, coming back at you with another anime review. So, continuing with my key animated visual novel month, slash key anime, I'm going with my third favorite out of the four that I've seen, and it is Kanon. This series is pretty much... first I'm going to try going with no spoilers, because I actually really like this show. Let's see. Pretty much, guy has a traumatic experience, he forgets it, he returns to the town, he meets people from his past, such, and he kind of relives his memories and gets to grow on the other characters that are around him, which works quite well. Now, here's spoilers. I'll be getting into spoilers now. So, if you don't want to hear spoilers, which I recommend watching this show, so if you are, click out of this video and watch this after, or whatever you wish to do. So there are, I think, there's like 4 or 5 main story arcs in this. You have the first one, from what I remember, which revolves around, what's her name? Let's see. Oh yeah. The first part of the story revolves around Motoko, who is, spoiler, is a fox that the main character found and helped raise up because she was injured, and kind of gets into a relationship with, which I actually quite like this storyline because it kind of it runs at a easy pace, and also they're very mischievous to each other because she likes playing pranks. She tries playing pranks on him. He kind of knows what's going to happen, and then he ends up playing a prank on her. It usually ends up in hilarity, in my opinion. Then the Moe-ness, what I'm going to be calling it now, since these shows pretty much are these 4 shows pretty much have the definitive of Moe-ness, which is super cute stuff and then super dramatic stuff. So, yeah. Oh yeah, sorry with all my hand gestures, it's just kind of my thing. Sorry if that annoys you. So, pretty much, she gets injured, or she gets, she gets ill and more ill, and then she just kind of vanishes. Yeah. Which kind of bothered me at first, but this is a key animated anime, so it's kind of in the same realm, because people kind of, someone vanished in air out of nowhere, so I was kind of just going on that basis, because I saw this right after watching Air. The next storyline is, let's see, no, it's not that character. Okay, yeah. Next. Storyline. This is a 26 episode long series. Also, I recommend, I'm also reviewing the 2006 series, since I like that. Well, my scene has better animation. But I think they have like the same story in a sense. I think. I'm not positive. You could tell me in the comments if I'm wrong. I wouldn't know. Pretty much the next storyline revolves around Mai, who pretty much, in a sense, when you like first see her, she's kind of a bitch. Sorry for my language, but that's kind of how she is. She kind of acts that way, and then the main character finds her in their school. She has a sword, and she just starts attacking pretty much near nothingness. And then they're like, there's demons in the school, and she has to try defeating them. And it kind of goes within her story that the two hung out when they were kids. And she has this weird power of being able to like heal. Deus Ex Machina. Well, she doesn't really use it to heal anything except in her backstory, I think. I don't know. I haven't watched this. So pretty much, like the place that her and her friend played in became their school. This is why the demons started popping up, because hey, they got rid of her favorite area, and she liked the place, and she's just kind of going, in theory, crazy. I actually thought it was going to go like a completely different direction with her going kind of crazy. And she also stabs herself, which also freaked the crap out of me. But I also like how the story went, because you have a balance between this demon fighting business, also with growing her character, and also the main character, which just gets growth throughout each story arc. I also like how this series makes sure that all of the all these stories still flow in with each other. So it's not like they just reset after each one, which is good. I do recommend watching an episode for her. When the main character and her go to the dance, because it's quite interesting, because it kind of throws you for a loop when you first see the character, and then you see that episode. So yeah, I recommend. So for also for Matoko storyline, I just watching that whole thing just because I quite enjoyed it with their antics and such. Next one is Shiori, which her storyline revolves with her sister, and she's like super sick, which adds to the moeiness. I know. So pretty much, she like shows up at the school like almost like every day and eats lunch with the main character, and her sister kind of like shrugs it off because she's gonna die and such. Which is weird. So pretty much she's gonna die or such, and pretty much the main character starts hanging out with her. And they kind of hang out. This is kind of the least developed story in my opinion, but because one, with her being sick, it's not really explained how much she is sick, because she kind of does everything normally. So it kind of threw me for a loop, since when you're kind of sick, you kind of can't do anything. But I was having a thing of disbelief, so yeah. So let's see. I think there's like one, two more stories, but one more, because the other one is kind of sidelined and then super sidelined by the end of the series. But I'll kind of just go into that right now. The last storyline, which is pretty much just there, just for just to add more stabbing into your heart. You have the main character's aunt get into a car wreck. Well, it's more of the car hitting her, and then it causes his cousin, which also kind of freaked me out. 'Cause it kind of seemed like she was having some form of like attachment to him, which also freaked the crap out of me. But I'm guessing it's just how Japan is. I'm guessing, well, from what I've learned from watching anime, Japan has like little to no boundaries at all, and I'll get to that when I start reviewing some more of my risque anime I've seen. Like, for example, an anime I watched called Kiss Excess. That anime has zero boundaries for anything. But back to this. So, pretty much, she's like kind of she, in my opinion, is not really developed. She's just kind of there as, I'm guessing, a mental anchor between these arcs. And that's kind of it for her. Then you have the main character, which I quite enjoyed her storyline because she kind of takes my favorite part of Motoko's story and then adds upon it and then adds her own moe-ness to it. So, pretty much you have Ayu, if I'm mispronouncing that, because I haven't seen this anime in like 3 weeks. But I quite enjoyed her storyline with the main character. Pretty much, they played as friends, and shock and awe. Well, actually, I'm not going to spoil this one, because this one I would like to keep secret for you guys to figure out, because this is probably my favorite storyline. Pretty much, the only thing I'll go into is they played as friends, and that's it. I quite enjoyed her character. She's pretty much quite playful and such, and she seemed quite, what was the word? Normal, in my opinion. I also liked her mannerism, which was quite interesting. Let me get to the main character. I do like how you kind of get involved with this story because he has amnesia, which which is a perfect point of how you can have all this stuff brought up. So all this stuff can be brought up, so it doesn't seem like, hey, he knows this stuff, he's just being a complete asshole and not telling us this, and we just have to learn it all ourselves. And it's pretty much, I like how this goes. Sorry for my language, it's just stuff. So, pretty much, he gets well developed. It's kind of just a regular main character in my sense, just kind of a blank slate. Still kind of a bland main character, but I think the female main characters kind of balance him out since they're pretty much the main points of this, since this is based off a visual novel. So, and the main character is usually you in the visual novel, so yeah, well, kind of in theory you. So, yeah, it's kind of why he's super bland in a sense. And if you say he's not super bland, you just have to see. He kind of doesn't do much except mope around and such, but that's kind of because of the events, and I'm not going to get into the events because I'm not going to ruin my favorite story arc in this, because I want you guys to watch it, because that was an awesome story. Like, my favorite episode in this series was probably the last episode, because it wraps up everything. Also, it wraps up my favorite story arc, but saying that, all of the story arcs in this are done so well, in my opinion, that they all could be individually their own season in a show in a sense. But since they're all integrated with each other, they all find a way to balance on top of each other to make this awesome series. So, my favorite character was Ayu, because she was cute and adorable and such, and had that kind of interesting feeling. Well, first my favorite character was Motoko, and then she disappears after a while, so I was like, well, gotta find a new character to anchor myself onto. So, Ayu was there. I was like, yep, you're now my new favorite character. Because, didn't like the cousin that much, didn't like the main character that much either. And most of their characters were either really close to being my favorite main character, or favorite character, or I didn't really care much for them. Like, there's a character who's pretty much an exact copy of another character from another key animated anime. Like, you could just, he looks exactly just like him, except with, I think he has a different hair color, and that's pretty much it. Which kind of did bug me, but he was just a super minor character, so it didn't really bug me that much. And a lot of the side characters kind of get sidelined, which makes sense since they're side characters. I suggest watching this anime because of its, in my opinion, great storyline and such. And, yeah. Also, there's a crap ton of symbolism in this, if you think hard enough. Especially with the main character. Just think about it. So, that is it for my Kanon review. Kind of. So, also, if you want me to review any anime that you recommend me to, I will be glad to watch it and put that on my list of anime reviews I have in the future. Right now, my next anime I've planned is Angel Beats, which is the only one of the key animated anime that isn't based off a visual novel. I could be wrong, but it only seems to be manga based, I think. So there's that. So my next anime will be Angel Beats. So look forward to that. I quite enjoyed that one as well. It's only a bit better in my opinion than Kanon, but only by like a bit. It's like that much. And then you have like Clannad, which is the other one, which kind of in my opinion beats out the rest. But that's mainly because there are a lot of characters in that show that kind of fit more in that show that I liked more than any of the other shows. Like their side characters and such. So, that is it for this episode, this review. I will be seeing you guys later, and goodbye.